you type it in there? Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you type it in there? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So again, welcome to DuPoint Markets. And this is again your analyst, Vertex Trading or FQ Farnacio, providing you the latest market insights and market analysis that we will be doing. So again, welcome to our weekly webinar. Today, we would like to tap on technical analysis as our part of our webinar. And a little risk disclaimer before we start. Any information shared in this live webinar is for educational purposes only. Trading involves significant amount of risks and past performances. Well, last week was really a strong market given that we have an NFP. But given that you have capitalized on NFP, it is not indicative to any future potential results that you will be having. So please evaluate everything and take it with a grain of salt. Consult your licensed financial advisor with any trading decision. Romy from Metro Manila and all. My PC is here as well, Sir Nolan. Good afternoon. So, again, this is FQ Farnacio. I am a licensed technical analyst and I am a PFME. I am the president of Ignite Marketing Resources, Inc. And like what I always say, we are forever a student of the market. Can you type it in there, guys? Student. Student. So we are forever a student of the market, and we have to make sure that as a student of the market, we continuously learn, we continuously grow. And as a trader, we have to make sure that to align every point of the market with regards to being a decent trader and master what? Technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and or risk management. So the topic for today is all about actually technical analysis. But before we go through with that, many thanks to DuPoint Markets.
DuPoint, the one-stop trading platform for commodities, indices, and currency pairs. DuPoint, the one-stop trading platform for commodities, indices, and currency pairs.
A huge shout out to DuPoint Markets for providing our weekly webinar and our weekly discussion for the whole trading community all over the globe. So what happened last week? Can you type it in there? NFP. Non-farm payroll results, which actually led to a big spur of the market wherein GBP USD gave 200 pips, 190 pips with euro and all, and other playbooks in the market actually jumped lower because of it. And also the US dollar pumped continuously with an upside. Let's try to review every single thing with regards to the market, because yes, all these big playbooks play a big role to how the market moved and how the market will be moving. But let's try to understand the specifics of the technical standpoint first before trying to understand what implications made or what the market did because of the impact of the non-farm payroll results. So actually, the market gave really decent downsides, or I mean upsides of portfolios with our students because of the technical standpoint of things. Can you type it in there, guys? Technicals. Technicals. So technical analysis actually played one big role in capitalizing the market from last week, given that the non-farm payroll result is actually aligned with what the technical analysis is telling us. So let's try to check it in, because we have some result of our students. So this is one of our student results wherein he capitalized on the market on a short side selling with regards to euro, GBP, AUD, and NZD USD. So it actually led to a bigger growth potential and upside with his portfolio. And let's try to review what made this bias go about and what gave him this perception to actually trade this market. So let's try to review every single thing in a while. And let's try to visit some charts and look at it in a standpoint with regards to technicals with the dollar first things and foremost. If, well, we are reviewing the dollar, obviously, when we are reviewing it, we try to look at every single aspect of things. Okay, we're not only looking into the fundamental. Let's drive away fundamentals first. Let's try to look at it in a technical standpoint first. The dollar is pretty much in a very strong uptrend higher direction. And actually, it is also being validated by what we call a moving average trend. Can you type it in there, guys? Moving average. So this moving average, we have here the 20, 50, and 100 moving average telling us that the trend is actually definitely in an uptrend. So an uptrend consists of utilizing your moving average aligned in a specific direction. So in our server, in our programs, and in our courses, we actually reiterate the beauty of knowing trends with regards to using other weapons, not only with price. Price is telling us that the dollar is in an uptrend because of it having a series of higher highs and higher lows, but also being validated not only with the technical standpoint of it, adding to it the technical standpoint of what we call the moving average, telling us that the alignment of the moving average 20, 50, and 100 is telling us that it is clearly in an uptrend potential. So this is one way to actually validate on how do we play specific pairs with against the dollar. If we are to review other cross pairs, actually, we are trying to view it in a macro perspective scale first. Let's say we are looking it on a daily perspective scale. Obviously, Euro is creating a series also of lower lows and lower highs, right? So this actually led and gave us a technical standpoint of what? Of potentially a bigger short or a potential continuation of a short-term scale or a short scale because of this standpoint. So this lower lows and lower high in a technical standpoint gives us that idea, that sound idea that the direction of the market is still on a short. Can you type it in there, guys? Short. So reviewing it, this trade idea that one of our students showed or showcased with his trades with reviewing Euro alone and even Dixie. Dixie is being paired too with Euro, and Euro obviously is going down if we are to review XC as a European dollar currency. Let's go back to the fundamental standpoint of base and quote correlation. So we are utilizing Euro to actually purchase a dollar. The Euro is weak and that the dollar is strong. Di ba? So if we are to purchase Euro with the use of our dollar, obviously we can only purchase smaller amounts of dollar, making the currency go down in this scale. And well, cross correlation in that sense is giving us a sound technical idea that Euro is still strong on a short scale. Plus, the macro perspective of it, even with the use of our moving average. Later, we will be discussing this with trends on how we will be identifying how strong a trend is still with the use of our moving average. Because we have topics for today on technical standpoints. We'll be discussing moving average, price action, Fibonacci, and RSI as a whole. So, Euro basically gave us that perception on a stronger sense that it is still on a short. Siguro, if we want to trade this on a scale that it will be reversing, we have to still look at the idea of at least looking into other indicators telling us that, well, the price is now weakening or there is already what we call a part of our checklist. Can you type it in there, guys? Checklist. A checklist that, well, let's say when we are considering to buy stuff, right? If we are considering to buy and sell some stuff, make sure that there are key points with an item that you are purchasing, that there are plus or good points and bad points to it. So it's the same thing with trading stocks. So for example, when we are reviewing the moving average, obviously the trend of the moving average is in an IAOTS or in a downtrend perspective. We are to view it on a downtrend. That's a plus points already on a short with regards to the moving average with euro. The price action of euro is telling us that there is a downtrend because of what? Series of lower highs and lower lows with euro over here, giving us that sound decision that European currency is still short on that scale. If we are to use probably another weapon with regards to Fibonacci, I'll be discussing it later. Obviously, that it is still in a strong perspective trend with regards to it, even with our RSI. So the RSI is telling us that there is still a potential continuation, though it's showing that it is actually diverging right now. But the trend with plus and minus points is, the price action and the moving average is telling us that there will still be a potential continuation to it. So let's try to review other pairs again. So this is what happened with European currency or euro versus the dollar. If you are to view GBP USD in that sense, if you are to view the GBP USD, obviously it's actually the same thing as well. GBP is weak against the dollar considering our moving average plus our Darvas price action or price action model. There is a strong downside potential and also a strong RSI considering the breakdown plus a potential RSI is 30 there, providing more momentum towards the downside. Even with the Australian currency and all, the trend is still strong on a downtrend considering the moving average, considering the price action on the daily scale, and considering our RSI as well as our NZD-USD. So when we are reviewing things like what I've said, I always say, we try to review them as a whole, not only with just one indicator, but we generally see it to a point that we have to review every single indicator as a whole. Okay, not only price, but also other indicators that will be reflecting how price will be reacting. Okay. So that is on how we will be viewing the chart. So let's talk about technicals today. Can you type it in there, guys? Technicals. Technicals. Let's try to review every single technical aspect so that we get a glimpse and we get to grasp every technical indicator that we might be adding, okay, together to give us that sound decision. So this is, we are going to drive away fundamentals first for a while and try to look at it in a technical standpoint muna. Okay, so technical standpoint alone. If you are to view the technical standpoint, like what I've said, let's try to discuss every single thing. So we have here moving average, we have price action, we have Fibonacci, and we have RSI. In our book, we always have to review every single thing on a macro scale. Can you type it in there, guys? Macro. We always have to review things in a macro scale. So a macro scale will give us that whole picture as to whatever it is that's happening with that pair, that coin, that stock, that currency. A moving average will give us a direction. Okay, so when we are reviewing a moving average in this strong point configuration, I can actually give this to the viewers right now. If you guys want a copy of this one, if you want to use it, I'll be giving a copy. I'll just check it in our server so that I can provide it for everyone. Okay, where is that resource data? So if you want to have a copy of this script in TradingView, I'll be providing it here in Zoom. Okay, I provided it here in Zoom. You just put it in your Pine editor here so that you don't have to subscribe with TradingView as a premium. You just copy every single thing and post it so that every indicator will be aligned as one. So you can utilize different indicators as a whole. So because TradingView, the free perks of TradingView actually can only provide you 2 indicators only. But with the script that we did, that we are sharing actually here in Zoom, okay, or try to give us a message because the script is too long for Zoom to accommodate. Okay, it will be it will be really long to paste it in your trading view. Okay, so try to give us a message so that personally and in our page, so that I will give you a copy of this whole indicator that I'll be giving for everyone. Okay, so that you no need to subscribe with TradingView anymore. I'm not saying don't subscribe. If you subscribe, there's a good back testing tool that will be used. But like I said, okay, this indicator or this indicator, this strong point configuration, this is what we use with our students to actually trade it to trade markets. So we use 20, 50, and 100 as a moving average to what? Identify. Can you type it in there, guys? Identify. To identify trends. So trends, we utilize the moving average 20, 50, and 100. Let's say 20. This is 20. We have the 50, and we have the 100 as our indicator to identify trends. So if the moving average indicator is telling us that the 20 is above our 50 and is above our 100, this is what we call an uptrend. So generally, it will give us that sound decision, or at a glance, we can view it that if it is aligned this way, it is clearly in an uptrend. If it is aligned reversely, 20 is below 50, is below 100, this is now telling us that the trend is actually aligned towards the downtrend. If it is in a crisscross direction, it is actually in what we call a sideways price action. So it is traded differently if it is in a sideways direction. So given that our moving average is telling us that it is clearly on a downtrend, it should give you that sound decision already. A sound decision that the trend is in a strong downtrend. Obviously, all pairs from last week is actually telling us, what trend is this? Everyone, can you type it in there? What kind of trend do you see? Uptrend or downtrend? I guess it's pretty obvious with the glance of the moving average, right? That it is clearly in a downtrend. So thank you, Sir Romulo, for providing the answer. So it is clearly on a downtrend as well as with GBP USD. What kind of trend is GBP USD telling us? It is in a, obviously, again, in a downtrend. With AUD USD, again, the moving average at a glance is telling us that it is also still in a downtrend. Obviously, with NZD USD, again, it is also telling us that it is in a downtrend. So, I mean, usually traders tend to fight off a trend because of, well, probably wanting to catch the bottom of things. But try to understand, trends should be your friend when you are trading. And moving averages, not only can it give you direction, can you type it in there, guys? Direction. So direction is important with regards to trading different markets. And direction, okay, it will direct you, it should be directing you, okay, towards a specific action that you will be taking. So the moving average is obviously telling us that it is in a downtrend. It should be traded accordingly. So this is with regards to moving average alone. Not only that, the moving average can also tell us how fast and how slow. We are discussing this in our server as well for our graduates of Vertex, how fast and how slow the moving average is. It can also be used as what we call support and or resistance. So support and resistance as well. Specifically, when we are looking at a moving average, usually it shows us a DNA of every pair or every coin or every stock that we are trading. It is actually one way to identify it is that how fast or how slow a specific moving average is. Because the 20 moving average is telling us that, well, the stock or the pair or the coin is in a fast trend. Okay, fast. Can you type it in there, guys? Fast. So the 50 is telling us that the moving average or the stock pair or coin that we are trading is in a moderate or on a medium term scale. So it's not as fast, but it is on a moderate movement. But on a moving average 100, it will tell us that it is acting really slow than usual. So meaning what do we mean by fast, slow, and a moderate movement? Usually, when we see prices, okay, when we are viewing prices on how it is being respected, let's try to view it on a bigger trend. So on a bigger trend, can you see how fast if a pair is actually reacting towards a moving average 20, the downside potential is actually faster. If it is on a moving average 50 potential, it is a bit hugging. It's not that fast to go down. Okay? And as well as with regards to the moving average 100, it is telling us that it is on a much slower phase. So with this, it can already give us a trade idea, okay? A trade idea on how we will be perceiving price to be. Price. Can you type it in there, guys? Price. So let's say, for example, if we are to relate the moving average with a downtrend, for example, we have a series of price action with Darvases, right? I guess most of you guys or some of you guys are familiar with Darvas. Can you type it in there, guys? Darvas. We have types of Darvas boxes wherein if a price action creates a breakdown, the resistance is being respected or retested by price action again. So this is what we call a type 1 Darvas box. A type 2 Darvas box is that portraying or showing us that there will be a gap from the previous breakdown towards the resistance being retested by price. So this is a strong box. Okay. Another box type that the market can also show us is that whenever price breaks down, the price goes back inside of that consolidation again. So looking at it, if we are to relate this with regards to the short-term, medium-term, and long-term trend, I guess it's pretty obvious on how we can, okay, how we can create a trade idea with regards to looking at moving averages as well. Correct, everyone? Can you see? Can you type number 1 if you got the idea? I guess if it's in a moving average 20 perspective scale, the trade idea or the tradable ideas will be aligned on a type 2 Darvas perspective scale. So let's say we saw a consolidation right here. This is a consolidation, I believe, from the NFP. Let's try to check if this was a consolidation. No. That's the previous week's consolidation. So I guess if we are to view this in a, we generate a trade idea from this scale alone, from the moving average 20, since this is the DNA of the trend during this pair. Okay, the DNA of it is in a moving average 20. And it is actually portraying us that the price action is actually strong. So generally, the trade idea will be stronger bias towards what we call a downside. A lot of traders will be mismatching the idea because of, well, trying to catch the bottom of things because of probably looking at divergences, probably looking at potential parallel supports and all, or key levels of the market. But like I said, the technical should be your guide or should be your bias with regards to taking things, a decision with regards to your trading. So, like I said, with different time frames will be different analysis as well. But it the macro perspective ultimately should be your general bias towards a specific direction. Let's just say we are relating this on a daily perspective chart, and we are trying to view this on an H4 chart perspective. I mean, yes, during the market of an H4 scale, this is what we call a weak kind of box, correct, everyone? Because it created a breakdown, but still, it is actually a weak kind of box, considering that it is in a moving average trailing DNA, correct, everyone? Yes? Is it on a moving average 100 trailing DNA? Yes or no? Can you type 100 if you see that it is a moving average 100 type of DNA? 100, right? So it is a moving average type of DNA on an H4 perspective scale. But look at it on a view. Let's try to look at it on a macro perspective viewpoint. The moving average that is being respected still, it's being respected or retested still is the moving average 20. Okay? Given that it's still the moving average 20 on a daily scale, which is the macro perspective of things, try to understand that the macro perspective is telling us still a direction towards the downside. Okay, how will we create that sound idea this time around? That, okay, still, the tradable bias will be still on a short side. Okay, we are to view it right now. Yes, we try to view it on a macro perspective with regards to the daily time frame. But like I said, we are viewing it on a moving average to price to Fibonacci scale. So imagine it is on the bigger perspective, like the macro, the daily. Can you type it in there, guys? The daily is telling us short. The H4 is telling us, well, there is a bit of weakness towards the trend. Correct? There's a bit of weakness. Why? Because it's in a moving average 100 context still. But another breakdown happened that showed us something different from the weakness of the H4. Am I correct? Yes. It actually showed a weakness or a change of bias or change of DNA from what we call the weak kind of box, right? Can you type it in there, guys? Weak. Looking at the perspective of the moving average 20 plus the DNA of price immediately shifted the bias or the trade idea from the H4 being a weak kind of box, shifting it to a much stronger trend towards the downside. So this is actually how we can potentially still capitalize on the market given looking at technicals alone with regards to understanding it on price to moving average perspective. Like I said, we can always see this in price. Okay? And well, we cannot discount the idea that still the moving average can be retested or will be retested. But like I said, we have to align it in a perspective na, okay, given that it's still in a moving average 20 being respected since last week, the NFP play was actually this candle. We cannot discount the idea of still having a moving average 20 DNA. You got the idea, guys? We cannot discount still the idea of a moving average 20 DNA. Why? Because, well, the moving average 20 is still being respected, and the H4, we just have to look into or validate the idea of how we can look into capitalizing on it potentially. You got the idea, everyone? Can you type number 2 if you got the idea? So that is how we will be viewing it on a moving average towards a price action scale. So another perspective that I want to tap on is trying to understand it on a Fibonacci standpoint. So the Fibonacci is actually a tool utilizing or, well, reviewing trends as a whole. let's try to shift this on a moving average that is a Fibonacci perspective of a normal scale. So we have the 23.6, 38.2, 50%, 61.8, and 76%. This Fibonacci is being used actually to measure a specific trend. A Fibonacci, take note, is being used to measure trends. So it is actually being separated by different bands. We have the 23.6 and 38.2. We have the 61.8 and 50%, and actually the 61.8, and actually the 76.4 and the 100%. These bands should be taken alongside with trends. Ulitin ko lang ha, let me repeat it. Trends should be analyzed alongside with trends. Usually, the Fibonacci retracement, or it is actually measuring future outputs of price where it will potentially pull back. Okay? And that utilizing the 23.6 and 38.2 will give us still a bullish stance. Can you type it in there, guys? Bullish. Bullish stance. The 50% towards the 61.8% is, well, a stance of the market that is telling us that there is actually a tug of war, okay, or uncertainty of the market. And this one is the bearish stance of the Fibonacci. Now, let's try to review it with price and try to check on it on how we will be capitalizing the market on a macro perspective scale. So, macro perspective scale of the market, I guess it's pretty obvious that it is still in a bullish stance with regards to reviewing Fibonacci, right? If we are trying to utilize the Fibonacci on a bullish stance still, okay, it is creating a reversal or a pullback on a moving average 100 with a 23. It's pretty obvious that the daily time frame price action is portraying a very strong downside potential. 23.6 after another 23.6 after another 23.6 after another 23.6. It never tapped the 23.6. It's still on a bullish downside potential. So, giving us that sound decision, adding up our bias towards our moving average to our price action to our Fibonacci, that it is still on a strong downside scale. Okay? Now, this one, we have to align every checklist as a whole when we are trading. Trying to review it on a macro perspective scale initially, like the daily, the weekly time frame, then going down to H4 perspective still. So moving average is still telling us that it is strong to the downside. Price action is telling us that it is strong to the downside. The Fibonacci is telling us that it is still strong to the downside. And that we can validate things on how strong a price action is with the use of our RSI as well. So the RSI, usually people tend to analyze the RSI with regards to overbought and oversold perspective scale. The overbought perspective is the RSI 70 scale. The oversold scale is actually telling us that it is actually in an RSI 30 scale. Okay? Oversold, overly bought. I have to repeat it. Overbought and oversold scale. A lot of people are associating that the oversold perspective is still a bias or is now a bias for what we call a reversal point. So, try to understand that the RSI is a tool validating what we call momentums of the market. Momentum. Can you type it in there, guys? Momentum. So, given that when we see price action, aligning it with the moving average and aligning it with Fibonacci, try to understand if the price action creates a breakdown from a Darvas box. If you see that there is what we call a breakdown plus what we call an RSI 30, with a breakdown perspective, it's telling us that the momentum is really strong. Okay? Take note, RSI 30 is telling us a price action that broken down, a price action relating it to your RSI that created the breakdown, that the momentum is still strong. So, if the RSI is a momentum indicator and it will signify to us or tell us that momentums are strong, and let's try to analyze it. Let's try to say it again. RSI 30 is for oversold. Can you type it in there, guys? Oversold. Oversold. RSI 70 perspective is for overbought perspective. The understanding, whenever RSI is in an RSI 30 scale, the price action is creating a breakdown. And the RSI, as a momentum indicator, is telling us that it is in an oversold condition. Meaning, it is being overly sold by people. So, should you be associating it as a buy signal if it is being overly sold by people and you are on a breakdown of a price action, creating another lower low perspective? A lower low plus an oversold validation, should it be a bias for you as a trader for you to take it differently? Yeah, to take it on a long perspective if it is an oversold condition, I guess. It makes more sense why the price action created a further downside to its scale. You got the idea, everyone? Can you type number 1 if you got the idea well? Yes. So like I said, this is one key point of the market that we have to continuously understand and look into. Even the non-farm payroll from last week validated to us that there is an oversold position given its breakdown potential. But like I said, okay, the RSI will tell us a lot of story. Now, how can we utilize it for taking in some reversal plays? I guess, well, that is for another topic that we will be discussing for everyone. Right now, let's try to understand it in a context together. Okay? So, moving average, usually, we utilize it for trends. Can you type it in there, guys? Trends. Trends. Can you type trends? Trends. Moving average, we understand it with trends. Price action, we look into it. Well, price action, we really review price action because we tend to look at how price is moving, structure, right? With regards to series of higher highs and higher lows, we associate it with support and or resistance and or trends as well. So we utilize price with trends, we utilize price with support and or resistance, because that is where we see market pivot points, wherein pivot points or structures on higher highs and higher lows. It basically give us also the validation that the moving average is being respected in that sense, and that the trend is also strong or the trend is actually weak. So trends as well. Moving average plus price action plus Fibonacci can give us that sound decision to every single price trend that we are trading. The RSI is, well, being used outside of our chart. Correct, everyone? Is it being, alongside with our price action, or is it separate from our price action? It's separate, right? It's separate. So we utilize the RSI in comparison. Can you type it in there, guys? In comparison to our trends. So we used to compare RSI with price to create a validation. I have to repeat it again. To create or to make a validation of an idea. The idea that the price is creating a further breakdown, the idea of the price is creating a strong movement to the downside given the price action structure, the RSI with an oversold condition will validate how strong the trend is still. You got the idea, everyone? Yes? So, moving average plus price action plus Fibonacci should well, we utilize this in our server. Others might be using other indicators like the MACD, the stochastics, I mean, the CCI. A lot of those indicators are just like the RSI, moving average, MACD. We have stochastics, RSI, CCI. Those are all momentum indicators. So some are using moving average, some are using exponential moving average. For the record, since we are trading time frames in crypto, lower time frames in crypto, lower time frames in Forex, we are using an exponential moving average, okay? An exponential moving average because we are trading it in a much lower and in a much lower time frame scale. So we are using it that way. Now, we have to understand that when we are trading, we have to have, like I said in our previous module, we always have to have that checklist. So this checklist will be essential as our guide to creating a sound technical decision. Okay. Now, what checklist? Actually, we discussed this with our server yesterday with strong points. Yeah, with our batch in strong point in Vertex. So we tried discussing every single checklist when we are reviewing a stock pair or a coin when we are trading. Now, when we are analyzing it on solely with just technicals, okay, not considering fundamentals, still a checklist should be put in mind. What checklist is it? Like how I discussed it, we try to review it separately from each other. So, is it a plus points or is it positive or negative towards the moving average? What will be the trend? Is it a shorting on the moving average? You should be taking a short on the moving average. If it is telling us that the DARVAS or the price action is telling us that it is still strong on a downside, considering what you've learned on a type 1, type 2, and type 3 box, a strong, a moderate trend ng price action, a weak kind of DARVAS box price action, you should be taking it in that sense. So the checklist will serve as your guide. The Fibonacci as well can tell us on how the trend is, if it's still really bullish on the downside, if it's creating a pullback in that sense. And also the RSI will validate to us if the momentum is still strong whenever the price action is creating a breakdown or a breakout in that sense. You got the idea, guys? Checklist. Now, what is important in this checklist? Important. Can you type it in there, guys? Important. What do you think is important in every checklist? What do you think is important? You want to know what's important in every checklist when you are trading? You want to know what? Yes? Can you type important? You want to know? Okay. What's important in every checklist is that, let's try to go back in our previous slide. What's important is that you have to know every context. Context of every single weapon that you will be using. If you know what the context is on how every moving average is formed, what does it tell you on its speed, what does it tell you on its trend, what does it tell you on its SNR, what does it tell you on its trend. I mean, that's more than enough to give you that sound decision that this moving average is really going to this direction. With price, the context on price, what kind of speed is it telling us, what is the DNA, what is the trend, it is separate from how we analyze our or our moving average. It's also the same as the context on how a moving average or how a Fibonacci is actually formed, on how bullish still a trend is, how every retracement is happening with price. Because the Fibonacci is actually measuring future consolidations, if it is still in a bullish note or is it now on a bearish note, for you to create that sound decision on every single approach. RSI as well, there are different aspects on zones. Can you type it in there, guys? Zones that you have to consider. That's number one. RSI support and or resistance. There are lots of aspects. Zones, support and resistance, measuring trends or how strong a trend is, how weak a trend is. So these are the points of consideration that you might want to look into whenever you are reviewing. I'm just showing you a glimpse of what we are doing on different understanding with our checklist with moving average, price, Fibonacci, and our RSI. Because the RSI can also tell you potential reversal points as well. Can you type it in there, guys? Reversal. Reversal, also moving average, can also tell you when will it create a potential reversal with regards to moving average. Also, the Fibonacci and price action can also tell you that story as well. Like I said, when we are having a checklist, make sure it's just like when you're trying to go to a grocery. Like I said, the checklist is essential for you not to be trading more often or taking trades, a lot of trades, unnecessary trades, or unnecessary actions. So it should be a plus point on every technical indicator. So, Ma'am Jade Roseman said, today's talk is making me realize on how powerful strong point is. So, thank you, Ma'am Jade. So, Ma'am Jade is actually a strong point graduate in Vertex. So, now need to review the strong point videos again. So, yeah, if you want to have a refresher, Ma'am Jade, just give me a heads up and I'll put you in with our February batch. So again, huge shout out Sir Nolan and team and DuPoint Markets for providing this
DuPoint,
webinar.
The one-stop trading platform for commodities, indices and currency pairs. DuPoint, the one-stop trading platform for commodities, indices and currency
this
pairs.
broker is, try to check them out or try to register with the QR in our screen below. Try to scan the QR code, and I want to invite everybody as well, because we are having another batch. It's not October until January. It will be our February until April batch upcoming this February 3. If you want to get to know more in depth on how to trade the local stock market, Forex, especially Forex market that is aligned with DuPoint Markets, and also cryptocurrency, because DuPoint Markets has cryptocurrency trading as well. You might want to consider also learning things in depth with our program in StrongPoint with Vertex. So try to message us in our page or try to message us here in Zoom so that we can attend to you guys. We are now accepting students, and a lot of people have reserved already. So we are only offering it with limited slots in our community. So let's try to navigate opportunities ahead and try to look at it in a fundamental standpoint. Okay, because we have a very big week ahead upcoming because of, well, our Forex Factory calendar is telling us that there is a US catalyst with US CPI, Chicago Fed President Goldsby will speak as well. So a lot of fundamental insights we should be considering for the whole week. Plus next week will be Trump's inauguration as well as president. So we have to look at it. So in our server, Tuesday will be the biggest catalyst or one of the biggest catalysts that will happen. So we have Actually, yeah, Tuesday we have CPI, Chicago Fed President Goldsby will speak as well. We have New York President William speak as well. Minneapolis President will speak as well. And earnings report is likely to happen for this whole week. So if you are not aligned with our Forex Factory calendar, please try to bookmark, try to review the Forex Factory calendar on what will happen. So tonight we will be having a high impact news with core PPI index and PPI results as well. We have tomorrow CPI results will come out. Let's try to understand all potential results and what might potentially happen for the whole week. Okay. So bullish and bearish note, because the topic for today is just the technical standpoint of things. So, like what I've said, we are reviewing what the CPI results. Can you type it in there, guys? CPI. We are trying to look into the CPI numbers of the US. Because the US key release will be they will likely include the December results of their PPI and CPI. So the December results of PPI, so December will be released today and on Wednesday. So retail sales is important because it is actually the production on Friday, and other data includes like Fed Beige Book and jobless claims and Philly Index and housing will start. So let's try to understand what will be the best decision that we will be taking if the CPI and PPI beats expectation. What do I mean by beats expectation? It could potentially strengthen the US dollar if actually it persists, if it actually strengthen, or the PPI results or CPI results is higher than expected, it could potentially strengthen the signal of inflation pressures. So supporting a more hawkish stance. So we are looking to purchase the dollar, or the dollar will further strengthen if the CPI and PPI results are high. Okay? Let's put it that way. And if the dollar will strengthen, obviously, there might be potential pullbacks that will happen further on euro because the dollar is strong, and going against the euro USD, GBP USD will likely potentially weaken against the dollar. So that's one of the best traded decisions that we'll be looking into for the whole week. So try to look at the data that will happen. If the data misses expectation, likely euro and GBP will likely strengthen. If further the CPI results will weaken. Okay? So if the CPI and PPI results are weak and the dollar will likely create a weakness, again, like I said, on base and quote correlation, euro will strengthen and GBP will also strengthen as well. And well, Fed will have a dovish pivot, as we term it to be. And okay, so that will be for the dollar. With Chinese yuan, actually the focus is on their December trade data. Okay, their December trade data. So what will be the likely trade idea that we'll be taking in if positive, or if their GDP is actually positive? Can you type it in there, guys? GDP. GDP. If it is actually positive, their GDP data, it is actually what we call a recovery towards China. Okay, China's recovery. Benefiting what? If GDP of China is recovering, it will likely benefit neighboring countries like AUD. Why AUD and NZD? If GDP of China and if GDP of China is good, Why will it benefit AUD and NZD? Because AUD and NZD is one of the biggest importers of China. Okay, and yeah, neighboring countries of Asian market as well. Yes, that's correct as well. Considering having a long perspective on AUD and NZD against the dollar because of the Chinese yuan GDP. If the data is weak, obviously AUD and NZD will weaken as well. So it is a weakness towards against the dollar if potentially the GDP of China is still on a negative side. So try to look at it in that scale. So let's try to look at the Eurozone as well. Eurozone, can you type it in there, guys? Eurozone. So the Eurozone, we will be having a Eurozone HICP inflation and German GDP upcoming as well. Base and quote ulit tayo. Let's try to look at it on a base and quote perspective scale. If strong HICP and strong GDP, if the results of HICP and GDP is strong, what will it give us as a trade idea for euro against the dollar? Okay? Euro against the dollar, it will create a long perspective idea potential against the dollar. So since it is stronger against the dollar, I believe, well, we might see a recovery or a reversal with regards to euro against the dollar if global British pound as well is higher than expected. The CPI, RPI results, well, if it's higher than expected, cross-correlate it with dollar again, it will be a long perspective against the dollar. So well, everything is on speculative results as of the moment. So I am highly advising everybody to monitor what? Monitor your economic calendar as we go along for the week, because right after this, if we see the results of each impact on GDP, if GDP is weak, obviously if GDP is weak, everything with GBP USD will go down. If CPI of GBP is weak, or GBP will further go down. If it's stronger here on, then potentially GBP will have a pivot or a reversal potential. It will reflect with price. Okay. Now, with regards to AUD, USD, and NZD, employment numbers is actually being considered as well. So if job data, which actually AUD will be having a job data upcoming as well. AUD will be having job data. If it will have a stronger, or let's say the jobless claims of AUD USD is negative towards the if it's negative against the Australian dollar, and I guess it's pretty obvious what the trade idea will be. If confidence or the unemployment rate goes down lower than expected, then AUD USD will likely reverse from where it is right now. So base and quote still when we are applying things, and try to look at it in a standpoint of technicals. Okay, so another thing with the Canadian dollar is that we are looking into housing projects as well, housing starts, trade data, and political developments, because Trudeau's resignation might weaken, potentially favoring a long of the Canadian dollar, which is actually happening right now, the resignation of Trudeau. But if the trade data surprises us positively, try to consider creating a long. But if there is uncertainty, okay, uncertainty from Trudeau's resignation, it might potentially weaken the Canadian dollar, favoring another potential long for the Canadian dollar. Okay, so still trends are strong with USD CAD. If we are to look at it in a technical standpoint, probably let's look at some potential reversal signs to it. Right now, it's creating a short-term reversal with it on an H1 scale. But like I said, we have to view it on a bigger note still with regards to USD CAD. I guess it's pretty obvious, and it's like creating a Juniboy over here. A head and shoulders pattern potential. Considering that we still have an MA20 moving average that is potentially supporting still USD CAD. If you want to find further weakness of it, probably a moving average 100 breakdown should be considered and look into if you want to further create discount the idea if it's still strong. Okay, you got the idea, everyone? Can you type number 1 if you got the idea? So this is actually the impacts that we are considering with regards to every single pair, every single coin, even Trump's inauguration that will happen on January 20. There are lots of speculations on tariffs, on taxes. We have to look into, if I have to suggest everyone to go over your X account or Twitter account, formerly known as Twitter, and try to following and subscribing to Donald Trump with Twitter, and try to analyze all his statements to create a sound decision with your trading the whole week. Okay, you got the idea, everyone? Can you type number 1 if you got the idea? So the data or the results of the impact will be based on your technical standpoint. The impact of news, okay, will reflect in technicals. So your application will still be reliant on how good you are viewing your technicals as well. Okay? The impacts of reviewing fundamentals will give us a direction potential, but let's have that sound decision in taking in our trades with the use of our technical analysis as well. So my tip, biggest tip before we actually end our discussion for this afternoon, stay updated with the latest impact and align it with trends. Okay? You got the idea? Can you type trends? Trends! So, I guess we are too prepared. Be prepared for what's gonna happen and try to be updated with our Forex Factory calendars, Baby Pips calendars, economic calendars as well. Let me ask the audience, how do you find our discussion for this afternoon? Can I call on, Sir Ariel is here as well, Brian Diego. How do you find our discussion, Sir Brian? How do you find our discussion? Any insights, any clarifications on how we will be trading it?
Hello. Hello,
Hi,
hello, Dads.
how are you, sir?
Okay lang po. Ano
Mm-hmm.
naman, maganda yung ano ngayon, topic kasi nakaka-refresh saka ano, parang na-remind talaga na ano, dapat be attentive pagka may mga news na paparating. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
ano, malaki yung effect niya kapagka
Malaking effect.
may opo, opo.
Uh-huh. Just to translate everything, Brian told us that we should be attentive so with our trades and align every single thing as well with the direction. So thank you, Sir Brian, about it. How about si Ma'am Jade Roseman? How do you find our discussion for this afternoon, Ma'am Jade? How do you find it? Mukhang kailangan
Hello,
mag-refresh.
good morning, Coach. Kailangan mag-refresh. At actually, I'm currently doing back testing and I'm starting to, have many questions on my head now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have an entry and then like prior hours entry, and then all of a sudden the red folder comes in and it went to a different direction. So I was thinking in my head, oh, really, maybe I should put in my notes observation for Coach Ren discussion with me in the future. Now,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that case I should stop my prior entries or like forcefully close my prior entries in preparation for the red folder. Like,
That can be. That can be.
yes,
Because
yeah.
let's put it this way, because red folders are impact news. Let's say, for example, your technicals is telling you that it is on an uptrend. If we are to review the NFP from last week, example, your technicals or your system is telling you that it is on an uptrend. Any good technical standpoint will be invalidated if the fundamentals is telling us otherwise, because it will
Yeah.
reflect in price like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm really like happy to be able to attend today, really making me realize that the strong point, the basic, the foundation is really, really have to understand it. Not only like, half understanding, only understanding what is necessary for my current I'm using Catapult today for my feasibility, and not only understanding the minimum, it's really better to understand the whole scale, like what you said, context. Really understand the context.
Yes.
Is really powerful. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Ma'am Jade. So I guess there are no more questions for this afternoon. I hope you find it insightful, our discussion on technicals and relating it, and will be starting this February 3 already. And reservations of slots is currently ongoing. If you want to know more about the program, just scan this code over here, and I'll see you guys in our server. So you might want to learn with us and consider checking our page as well, Vertex Trading. And do consider as well, do always consider, huge shout out, because this discussion is presented to you by DuPoint Markets. So many thanks to DuPoint Markets. Can you type it in there, guys? Thank you, DuPoint. So many thanks to DuPoint Markets for providing our weekly insights, market insights, and technical Tuesday for this afternoon. And I'll see you guys for another week, another trade. Good night, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, everyone.